All right, and welcome into BP NFL. It's time to take a first look at the NFL futures betting market following the schedule release. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, and today I'm linking up with two of the best cappers in the game, including a man I've missed this offseason for all his Mike Tomlin underdog plays, all his close your eyes specials. He's the host of Fast Break Bets. He's Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, good to see you, pal. How are you as the summertime approaches, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, we're here for another football season coming around. WNBA is going, so that gets me all the way through my summer. So I'm having a good time here, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen lose their jobs.
You've been calling it for a while. You not the biggest Cam Ward fan, so you dodged a bullet there, but you did get Jackson Dart. How do you like Dart? Are you good on that?
You clearly didn't see the reaction video. No. I mean,
okay.
Hey, look, you had your job on this guy. So it's like, hey, he either works out and we're immediately a good team already, or everybody's fired. And then the next coach decides that they didn't draft him. And then we go through this cycle of everybody hunting this guy down. So I've already seen the script for how the Giants season ended, and hopefully it ends with Joe Schoen and Daboll losing their jobs.
Well, we'll certainly chat a little bit more about that later on. We've also got a man who lives and breathes sports betting, probably getting ready to go pony up to the strip right now, saddle up at a sports book. He's the host of Daily Juice here on the BettingPros YouTube channel. It's Matt Perrault. Matt, thanks for hanging out with us. How are you as we approach the NFL offseason, getting in even a higher swing?
I'm great because I'm on the opposite spectrum of Terrell. I mean, his team's in the toilet. My team is the hottest team in football at the moment. So I can't wait for camp to get going. I can't wait to see what the Patriots bring out, but I can't wait to see what Vrabel and company put together here for I think, a team that's going to wow a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So the Patriots schedule is the exact opposite of the Giants. It's easy. And they've got a young, hot shot quarterback to mix up now with a running game and an offensive line that hopefully it's been fixed for the Patriots. So I'm great.
I'm glad to hear that, dude. I like it. I like it too. I like bringing Vrabes back. I like everything they did in the draft. I think Kyle Williams was kind of a sneaky wide receiver on day 2 there. I know everyone was shouting out, hey, we need to go get someone for Drake Maye. Henderson, I think, in that backfield as well will be fun. So I don't know if there's any Patriots talk on the program today, but we'll certainly chat about it throughout the offseason. On today's show, we will be breaking down the following betting markets: Offensive Rookie of the Year, NFL MVP, season wins totals, division winners, and our best value plays. Matt and Terrell will give you their top plays, and I'll also have a few fun long shots I'll throw out as well. Before we get going, just want to shout out everyone who's watching and listening. If you're joining us here on the BettingPros YouTube channel, please do us a favor, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. Also, subscribe if you're new. Let's go ahead, gentlemen. Let's start in the Offensive Rookie of the Year market. The favorites currently: Ashton Jeanty plus 290, Cam Ward plus 380, Travis Hunter 10-1, Omarion Hampton 14-1, Tyler Shuck now 15-1. He was 40-1 at open, and then those odds got cut once Derek Carr retired, and then Tedero McMillan at 15-1. Where are you going here, Terrell? Is there any value out there? Is it one of these favorites in Jeanty or Cam Ward, or are we maybe pivoting elsewhere?
Well, I automatically think Jeanty is a lot of people's pick here. I think he's going to get an insane workload, but I wanted to give out something more fun. I wanted to give out something something that we could sweat. Sure. And if anybody has been following Fantasy Pros throughout any of this draft process, you'll know my guy D-Bro loves RJ Harvey. He loves him. He talks him up every single chance he gets. And, he's really sold me a little bit more. Like, I always thought, okay, that was a good, whatever running back landed with the Broncos was going to be a good spot because you don't have much that you're fighting over with Estime and McLaughlin there. And so you can get targets. You can get a lot of workload on the ground. We know Sean Payton loves to use the running back, loves to run the ball. All of that. You have an offense that's not bad, honestly. They were, 14th in total yards last season, so that was really solid. They can grow from there, better in scoring. So I think that RJ Harvey here in what could potentially be a starting role job for him at 22-1 or higher, I'll take a little sprinkle there if we want to talk about somebody that's a little bit further on the board, but also has the opportunity from out the gate because it's really not much resistance for him winning that starting job.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago when I was doing my initial handicapping of this market, Harvey was at 25-1, so I think he's already seeing a little bit of action come in on him. I like the landing spot. It's a great landing spot, as you alluded to. And then, like, RJ Harvey, we can't forget, Terrell. Like, this is a guy who put UCF kind of back on the map when they were making that transition into the Power 4 conferences. So excited to see what he can do out there in Denver. Matt, who are you liking in the offensive rookie of the year market?
Yeah, I think if we're going to look to handicap in May for what's going to happen for rookies who haven't taken a snap in the NFL, I think you have to kind of, you got to go to the top of the board and you're going to build a portfolio. So Ashton Jeanty, I'm in Vegas. I can tell you right now, the offensive line's not good enough. So they're going to have a really hard time. I don't care how many carries Ashton Jeanty gets.
It's going to be a lot.
He's not going to make it through the season. He will be banged up and he will be hurt if they run him into the ground because of the offensive line for the Raiders. I know what Carroll's trying to create, but it's just not there yet for him in year one. Cam Ward's going to throw more picks than anyone. I mean, he may set the record for the most interceptions in the NFL in year number one. I mean, Peyton Manning type numbers are going to come here because the Callahans are a disaster. And they were a disaster when they took over Nebraska and they made Nebraska into a pass-first offense. That didn't work, and he got fired. Brian, now his son, Bo's the offensive line coach.
Yeah.
Brian's the head coach. Well, Brian's doing the same thing. They went ahead and got rid of the best running back in the NFL. That was brilliant. And now they're the first pick in the draft, and they're going to throw the football a ton in Tennessee. Good luck. Cam Ward's not winning this award because he's going to be way too interception prone. So that leaves Travis Hunter at 10-1. The Jacksonville Jaguars have got to score points. And I know everyone's saying he's going to be a defensive back. But at some point, they're going to have to make the decision that they need help in the offense and they need their quarterback to have as many weapons as possible. And Hunter can make more money as a wide receiver than a defensive back and a bigger impact in a lot of ways from a big splash play perspective. So this is kind of like the Heisman Trophy. What will the voters vote for? And I think in the offseason, if you're looking for someone to come in, I think you look at Hunter and say, okay, you're going to get a chance. You're going to get a chance to prove that you can be an NFL wide receiver with a quarterback with a big arm who needs help and other wide receivers on the other side that will provide one-on-one coverage for Travis Hunter. So if I'm betting this market now, I'll take the 10-1 on Travis Hunter.
I completely understand the logic. I'm so mixed on it because, like, I'm a little worried, like, same thing for fantasy, that he's going to be playing on defense, and, like, that's not getting you credit towards the offensive player of the year. That's putting yourself more at injury risk. So there is the chance that, you know, this 10-1 ticket goes up in smoke at some point. But at the same time, when it comes to dynamic playmakers in this rookie class, Terrell, there might not be a better one than Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I agree. And Goldilocks needs some help down there. I mean, that's why they got him. Goldilocks doesn't know what he's doing, and he's quickly proving that he's a little bit overrated as a quarterback here. So getting him a big play weapon as a Travis Hunter, but I think that's a very good point to add into that. You have double the risk of injury, double the risk of everything because he's going to play both sides. So I understand. And I think, honestly, you play a nice little sprinkle on Travis Hunter, a little sprinkle on RJ Harvey. I think that's a good way to start your offensive Rookie of the Year catalog.
Speaking of sprinkles, and I'm talking the smallest of sprinkles here, I got a little long shot for you. Cam Skattebo, 100-1. And let me be clear, I do not think he can win Offensive Rookie of the Year. However, I like a few things about this 100-1 ticket. First, it's at FanDuel. That's always my favorite place to place futures. They can give you a cash out down the line. Also, there's a huge discrepancy because I've seen him at 40-1 at Bet Rivers, so I do think there is some value here at 100. And the Giants used an early 4th-round pick on this guy. He finished 5th in the Heisman voting. Devin Singletary, while he's always kind of been that guy who's clogged up backfields, he didn't really work in this inside zone duo approach that Dable runs. Tyrone Tracy, electric player, inefficient down the stretch, fumbled away games late in the season. I think the door is open for Cam to come in after a season where he went for over 600 receiving yards, 45 receptions, and potentially gained close to a 50% snap share. And with the ability to play all 3 downs, I think he could definitely pop here. And I don't think we're looking at 100-1 by the time we get to November. Maybe you have a cash out sitting there. Maybe there's a chance we ride this baby out if something happens to Ashton Jeanty or Cam Ward struggles, like Matt's alluding to as well. So, boys, any thoughts on the long shot here on the Arizona State Sun Devil?
Yeah, this is the difference between betting and fantasy. So I think Skattebo as a fantasy player, I think it's a great idea. He's going to be on a 3-win football team. He's not winning this on a 3-win football team. So,
I like the Giants, I think, a little more than I think most people.
The Giants are going to be awful. I mean, absolutely awful. They have the hardest schedule in football. They have the hardest schedule in football, and they have no quarterback. They have a quarterback coach who can't coach anything else, and they have an offensive line that is not good. They have a defense that is not good. The Giants are going to be awful. So if you say, okay, fine, Scatterboo's going to get a bunch of carries, that's awesome for fantasy, not for offensive rookie of the year. That doesn't win you the award. This is a popularity contest. I mean, this is really, you got to be on a good football team. You know, in baseball, we give Mike Trout the MVP when his team stinks. The NFL doesn't do that.
Yeah, very, very fair. Hoping we can maybe find something happen here. Maybe we'll get a cash out down the line. That's kind of really the play for me. But either way, I totally understand. And dude, look, Abdul Carter's over there. Let's have some respect for those Giants here, Matt. But before we continue, I wanted to remind you to please download the free BettingPros app for iOS and Android. With Sportsbook Sync, you can automatically track your bets across all major sportsbooks in one simple spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including game picks, props, and of course, parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and find profitable opportunities. Get a free trial of the Betting Pros Premium by downloading the app at bettingpros.com/apps and activating your trial on the upgrade screen. Next up, let's get into the NFL MVP conversation. The current betting favorites are Lamar Jackson, plus 550. Josh Allen to go back-to-back, plus 650. Joe Burrow, 7-1. Patty Mahomes, plus 750. And Jaden Daniels, now plus 900. He opened at 11-1. I have a little bit of action on him already. But Perrault, I want to start with you, man. Where are you going in this MVP front?
The same person that should have won it last year, Lamar Jackson. I mean, Lamar was the MVP last year. This is why human beings can't be trusted in the betting market in a lot of ways. Because they get fatigued. And they're like, it's the same thing going on with Jokic in the MVP vote in the NBA. I mean, Jokic, you're seeing it in this very series. Jokic is the MVP. SGA is a great player, but he's not the MVP. It's Jokic. It's the same thing with Lamar. Lamar was the MVP last year. I get it. Josh Allen was great, but Lamar Jackson was the most valuable player for his team. He'll be the most valuable player for his team again. I love the fact that they've brought back the best running back in the game in Derrick Henry, gave him $30 million. So run that right back. They've added some more weapons. They've added some defensive weapons as well here in the draft for the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson has another monster year. I think the Ravens are the team to beat in the AFC. I think they're hungry about what happened last year. I think finally in the postseason, this is the time for Lamar. But in the regular season, give me Lamar Jackson to finally get the award he should have won last year.
Yeah, right when things were kind of tightening up and Josh Allen was looking like the heavy favorite, I did a parlay with him and Burrow for Burrow to win comeback player of the year.
Nice.
And it was a sweater. It was not fun. I was thinking for about 3 months that I was just going to lose it all. So big unit play ended up paying out there, but potentially maybe some action here for Matt on Lamar Jackson. Terrell, I want to send it over to you. Who are you liking in the MVP front?
Well, the only reason I didn't play Lamar Jackson is because the number's too short for me. And as much as I like Lamar Jackson and that's my guy, I cannot play him at that short of a number knowing the injuries that he can have over the course of a season.
Fair.
Lamar Jackson was so much more fun to play when he was 20-1 to win the award, or when the season starts and they bump him down because they talk themselves out of Lamar Jackson, and then he goes on this heater through the rest of the season and torches the odds. Like, he's way more fun to bet then. Unfortunately, I decided to just go ahead and take the route that the voters took this year, because clearly it's hey, let's just make sure everybody gets the award and we spread the award around. And so guess who hasn't gotten it this time? Joe Burrow. And so if we're just going to spread the award around like they did last year with Josh Allen, and Josh, we want to make sure that you get an MVP. So here, your second team QB, but you're MVP in our hearts. Here you go, Josh Allen. They're going to do the same thing with Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow has this bounce back year where if the Bengals are actually good, if the Bengals actually win the division, they're going to talk themselves into Joe Burrow winning this MVP, because guess what? They tried to talk themselves into Joe Burrow last year, but the defense was so bad they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm going to take a stab on Joe Burrow here, because clearly after last year, they just showed me that, hey, they just want to make sure that all the good QBs of this generation get their one MVP to have on their record. And it looks like it's Joe Burrow's time, and he got the wide receiver signed, so he's good on that note.
It's a fair point, Matt. I think where I struggle is like the same thing that happened last year. I don't think this defense has gotten much better. They still don't have Trey Hendrickson signed, so I just don't know if Burrow can be the MVP on a team that might be sitting, a borderline playoff spot?
If that. I mean, they play in a really hard division, obviously. So We'll see what the Browns look like if they take a step forward and look a little bit better. They were playing better at the end of the year. We don't really know what the Steelers are going to look like. Obviously, they've got major question marks at quarterback, and we'll see what they wind up doing. But if you take the Mike Tomlin 500 train, they're going to win a couple of games in their division, most likely at home against the Bengals and at home against the Browns. So I am Burrow is awesome. I love Joe Burrow. Yeah. I love the swag. I love the fact that they brought back both of his weapons in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, but their head coach is Zach Taylor. And as long as their head coach is Zach Taylor, I will never believe in the Bengals with Joe Burrow. So I need a new head coach in Cincinnati, and then I would be all in on this. But as long as Zach Taylor is the head coach of the Bengals, I'm out.
The Bengals coaching staff or coaching tree on this program has been catching strays from Matt here. I can tell you're not a fan of Zach Taylor or anyone who's come from it.
You got to remember, I worked in Nebraska. I covered these guys. Zach Taylor was the quarterback for Nebraska under Bill Callahan. I've seen these guys up close and personal. I'm not a fan. I wasn't even in the Super Bowl year. I was stunned that Zach Taylor. I sat there in Los Angeles on Radio Row and said, "How the hell were the Bengals here? How is Zach Taylor taking this team to the Super Bowl?" Because he is clueless as a head coach. He's an okay offensive mind, but just because he was under Sean McVay doesn't mean this guy should be a head coach in the NFL.
Sure. Let's go ahead and get to the season win totals. This is a really fun market, but one that's certainly tough to bet as you're going to be laying some potential juice here. What are you seeing out in these streets that caught your eye, Terrell?
Well, I think that as I sit here and I look at it and I think about the landscape, somebody's got to be bad. Somebody's got to be horrible. Well, actually, I think that my team is better. I think my team is better than their win total, but not good at all. And I think they're actually I think they're 1-2 games better than the win total. But I'm going to hear your argument. But the Saints have nothing going on. I don't know what the Saints have going on. Yeah. And, the Derek Carr thing, whether they knew about it, whether they didn't know about it, they went and get Tyler Shuck because they feel like he can fit the offense, which is crazy because I don't know if they watched him through his entire career, but as a bettor, I did. And I know that the best ability is what? Availability. Tyler Shuck gets one hit in the NFL. He's out of here, dude. He couldn't last in the NCAA. He takes one hard hit in the NFL. He's out of here. And we're back here at the starting point with Spencer Rattler yet again. I mean,
and Jake Haener.
Dog, what? Like, everybody talks about, and it's been years that everybody's talking about the Giants they're starting the long-term tank for Arch Manning. There are a couple teams in the league, and I'm going to talk about them in the rest of the show, starting with the Saints, that I believe have a tie to Arch Manning as well and say, we're tanking for Arch Manning as well. So I don't think that this team is going to be any good. They have a win total of 5.5. I think you could take it lower and get 4.5 and plus money. I don't know how the Saints are going to win games this year.
Yeah. Matt, if we could bet on Arch Manning coming out, because there's a lot of talk whether it'd be 2026, whether it'd be 2027, like what are the odds, do you think? Like what would you handicap that as?
To be the number one pick of the draft?
Just to come out in 2026, given the family history.
I think he's coming out.
Okay.
He's coming out. Yeah, he's going to have an opportunity. It would be stunning for him to pass up on the opportunity. There'd be no reason why to stay. I mean, you could say the NIL money, but what does he need NIL money for? Like, he needs to start his NFL career. The New Orleans Saints, I mean, Terrell's point is completely accurate. That's where his family made their name, in New Orleans. Yeah. So it would be, if the Saints can tank for him, I like Terrell's play. I think the Saints are going to be awful. I think they're intentionally going to be awful. New head coach, you can sit there and say, hey, Kellen Moore, hang on. We're going to go 2-15, and then we're going to give you your guy. We're going to give you the guy. So I think that's very possible, but I'd be very surprised if Arch Manning stays in college.
Okay, that's good to know. Terrell, over on the BP College Football Show this year, we'll make the most of the 1 year of Arch that we'll potentially be getting. Let's go ahead to Perrault. Matt, I want to hear your case for why you're dogging the Giants so much. I really like what they did in the draft, man. We already talked about getting a dynamic running back on day 3. And is this arguably the best defensive front in football right now?
I don't really care what they put out there. Their schedule is absolutely insane. And it's funny that you say the Saints, because if they don't win at New Orleans, they're not winning a game till November. I mean, they open on the road against Washington.
That's just not true.
They open on the road at Washington, at Dallas. They're home for the Chiefs and the Chargers. If they don't beat New Orleans on the road, they have the Eagles, then they're at Denver, then they're at the Eagles, then they're home for the 49ers, and they play at the Bears on November the 9th. They're not going to be just dogs. They're going to be 6-point dogs or higher in all of those games. They are going to be, right now, if you're looking at survivor pools, fading the Giants is going to be an awesome opportunity to fade the Giants, okay? Roll with them by fading them. And you look at, then they play Green Bay at home, at Detroit, at the Patriots, and their bye week is week 14. They're going to be 2-11 when they get to that point. Under 5.5 wins, 100% Giants. Under 5.5 wins, and they're most likely right back in the top 2 or top 3, maybe even number 1 pick in the upcoming draft here. And you'll get your wish, Terrell. Brian Dable is going to get fired. The whole front office is getting fired because I like Jackson Dart. I liked him as a college prospect. I hate him with the Giants. I hate him. Where he got picked, I was like, this is a really fit matters in the NFL so much. And going into a place where they don't know what they're doing with their quarterback position, not something I'm signing up for. Giants under 5.5 wins.
Okay. Terrell, I actually made a comment on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel with Debro a couple weeks ago that I actually thought maybe there was some value in betting like an exact order for this division and putting the Giants above the Cowboys. However, since then, we got the George Pickens trade. We also now have this terrible schedule for the Giants, which Matt laid out perfectly. Like, I think maybe my love for this team is maybe a little misplaced. How do you feel about it?
No, I think the Giants are going to be bad, but if Matt's right, then kudos to Matt. But I've been a Giants fan for a long time, and I know what the Giants do, and what the Giants don't do is they don't tank. And they go out there and they win games at the end of the season that are meaningless. And so you'll know in the beginning of your season if the Giants steal a couple of wins, because unfortunately this Giants team plays really, really well, especially as road dogs under Dable. I don't understand why. And they have a great history with the Commanders. The Cowboys, I think, are on a down year. You're right. That Saints game is very important. They got to win that Saints game. However, I think the Saints are horrible. So, as much as I would love for the Giants to be in the realm for the number 1 pick, because then you told me that I'd have Arch Manning and I'd have Abdul Carter, and then I'd really, really be excited about the future. I know as a Giants fan, this team is never going to be that bad. They're always bad enough where I never get to brag about them, but they're never good enough where I actually get to be excited about them. So they're never the worst, but they're never the best, and that's what makes them annoying.
To your point, Terrell, 3 of the last 4 games for the Giants are at home, but they have a stretch from the 19th of October until the 1st of December where they play 2 home games, and the home games are against Green Bay and San Francisco. Jeez. And the road trips are Denver, Philadelphia, the Bears, the Lions, and the Patriots. Yep. Those are really hard road trips. They have the hardest schedule on paper in the NFL. You don't see that normally for a team that was as bad as the Giants were last year. So whoever they ticked off in the league office, they got enemies there.
You're preaching to the choir here, dude. Yo, you're preaching to the choir. This has been my reaction for a long time.
By the time they get to those meaningless games that don't matter, this season may already be lost, and they're better off tanking and losing than after the bye week when they have 3 out of 4 at home. Okay, they win half those games. They win 4 games, they go under 5.5. That's I can see that entirely by your point. I can see them winning 2 of the last 4 games and feeling good about themselves going out. But they have won 2 games before the bye week. So that's the problem for the Giants.
What their performance in the division is going to determine whether you win or lose this. If you lose this, it's because they won 3 division games. Because
3?
Yes, because because Dable's never beaten the Cowboys. And so in a down year, the Cowboys, if they actually have a roster where they can put it on the Cowboys, I believe that they are going to put it on the Cowboys. And then it's a weird dynamic with the Commanders where the Giants give the Commanders their really, really tough games, and I could see them randomly stealing a game there.
Didn't they have a 20 field goals in that game?
Yes. And they didn't have a kicker. They would have won that earlier game if they had a kicker, freaking idiots of an organization. But yeah, man, that's where I see it. It's the Cowboys and it's the Commanders. You gotta get swept by the Commanders for this to go under. If they steal one from the Commanders, that's going to be really annoying. And then they have to play well against the Cowboys. If the Cowboys just continue to beat up on the Giants as they always do, then yeah, this is dead in the water. But if the Cowboys are as bad as I think they are going to be this year, then I think this is an opportunity where the Giants say, hey, man, we don't ever beat this team. We got to get the belt out real quick.
Before we keep it moving, I want to tell everyone about an amazing offer that Bet365 has for you right now. Turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets when you join Bet365. To claim this offer, just go to bettingpros.com/365 and deposit at least $10. If you then go place a bet of at least $5, you're going to earn yourself $150 in bonus bets. Again, that's bettingpros.com/365. 21 plus only, must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Tennessee, or Virginia. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-BETS-OFF if you live in Iowa. Terms and conditions do apply. Next up, we have division winners where there are some juiced favorites, including Buffalo to win the AFC East at -230. You also have the Eagles to win the NFC East -140. The Ravens -135 to take the AFC North again. And then the Chiefs are -110 to win their 10th straight AFC West title as well. Perrault, where are you heading in this market?
So in the NFC East, no one ever repeats. So it's not the Eagles. Gotta go find somebody else to win the division. I'm taking the Commanders. I get +250, +240, somewhere in that range for the Commanders. And to have Jaden Daniels take a big step forward. I like what they did in the draft. I like their schedule a lot. I think they have a really good chance of going 5-1 in the division. And if they do that, they're going to win the NFC East. So it's a value play for me with this. It's not going to be the Eagles because no one ever goes back-to-back in that division. Give me the Commanders at $2 or better to come in. And as long as Daniels doesn't get hurt, he stays upright, stays healthy, Commanders should be right there to win the division.
Terrell, take us to the AFC with your favorite division winner bet.
Yeah, I'm back over. If Burrow's going to win the MVP, he's got to win the division. And so give me the Bengals at +230 right there. The only resistance I feel here is the Ravens and seeing what the Ravens do. The Ravens just lost their safety out for the season. We'll see if the defense, we talked about Roquan Smith, and we'll see if he'll be able to, move forward. It felt like he took a step back as the defense took a step back. And so if that defense is not right, Joe Burrow is going to have the ability to carve them up. And I know this Bengals team is foaming at the mouth at a chance to be able to knock off this Ravens team for the division. I think that this is a get-up year for the Bengals where they just go out there and they have some electric offense. And if they just get anything better than what they got defensively, then they're going to be a way better football team. So I'll take a shot on the Bengals just going out there, having a good year. Nothing spectacular. I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything in the playoffs, but a good regular season, then I think they could take the division.
They need Hendrickson back, man. They need him back. I think that could be really
him. You need more than that. You need him and you need more.
Yeah, you need a secondary too. Their secondary, they just don't invest enough in it anymore, man. I got a long shot for you guys. I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings to win the NFC North. I took this back in March at +550 at FanDuel. It's now down to +450. I still really like that number because this is a team coming off a 14-3 season, one game away from being the number 1 seed in the loaded NFC. And I still think the Vikings are very much all in. They re-signed Aaron Jones. They upgraded the line, one of their biggest weaknesses. Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, they come over from Indy in free agency. They also draft Ohio State's Donovan Jackson in the first round. They added Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave to the D-line that was already pretty good from last season as well. And I think outside of this secondary, the Minnesota Vikings are one of the most complete teams in the league. They have one of the best callers on the sticks as well. 2024 Coach of the Year, Kevin O'Connell, 34-17 record. My question is, and I think everyone's question, it's J.J. McCarthy, right? Mm-hmm. I've always been high on J.J. McCarthy, so I'm going to back him here. I think he would have been the QB1 if he was in this class with Cam Ward and company. And I also think this is very much a fade against the rest of the division. Lions have a lot of question marks on defense still. They lost OC Ben Johnson, DC Aaron Glenn to head coaching positions. Packers still, I think they have a bad secondary as well. They went 1-5 against the NFC North last year. And the Bears, while I think it will be a nice bounce back season for them, I think they still got to get their feet under them in the Ben Johnson era. So give me the Minnesota Vikings to win the NFC North. I have it +550, but you can still get it at +450. Any liking of that, Perrault?
Yeah, I do. I like it a lot. I mean, I especially the value on it. I like it a lot. I think that there's obviously the question, you mentioned it with JJ McCarthy, and keeping him healthy is going to be a gigantic question about, does he want to run as much as he did in college, and can he take the punishment? Can he take the hits?
True.
But he's throwing to the best wide receiver in football.
That helps.
I mean, that really helps. So you've got a guy that on any given play can go to the house for you. We know what that defense can look like. We know how hard it is to play at Minnesota. And I think you're right. I think the Bears are going to look better. But all this Caleb Williams, he tried to not play for them, UFL conversation, that's not what you want to be talking about. You don't want to have that conversation in May that your quarterback's father says that the Bears Chicago is where quarterbacks go to die, as quoted in the new book about Caleb Williams that Seth Wickersham wrote. So that is, I have a big circle around the Bears going, don't touch this for a while to see what that team looks like. The Packers are going to be the Packers. I think the Packers actually may be the team to beat in that division if the Lions do take a big step backwards, just because I like Matt LaFleur a lot. And I think you're going to see Jordan Love continue to develop and play really well. But the Lions questions, their talent's there, but you're right. You lose both the OC and the DC, and let's see what that looks like for them going forward. And Jared Goff at the end of the year in the playoffs didn't go so well. So let's see how he responds from that. So I like the play a lot. I think there's a lot of value in the Vikings.
Do you like KOC and the boys up there in Minnesota, Terrell?
Yeah, I do. I think that the Vikings probably do something similar to what they did last year, where everybody's just underestimating them. And they just go out there and just continue to win a bunch of games. I'm very interested in what this team looks like defensively, especially if they're a pest as they were last year and able to turn people's over. If they're as good as they were defensively last year, the sky is the moon. Like, as good as everybody's talking about JJ McCarthy, it was the defense that really, really came up for them over the course of the entire season. And he had a lot of quarterbacks seeing ghosts. So if that defense can be locked in again, then I think they'll be smooth.
All right, guys, let's take the training wheels off and get to our best value plays across all markets. Terrell, hit us with what you have.
All right. Mr. Jones is now the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm going to fade that. Sorry.
Ooh.
Call it bias. Think he sucks. Think he's a horrible quarterback. Think Anthony Richardson, they're just not committed to him. Clearly not committed to him. And, I mean, he needs as many first-team reps as he can get. And if you're splitting these first-team reps with Daniel Jones, of all people, yeah. Again, I said that there were a couple of teams that had ties to the Manning family that I felt like were going to be tanking for Arch, that were not the Giants. It's the Saints, and it's the Colts. I think the Colts to have the worst record at 17-1 is very interesting for a team that I think doesn't have a quarterback. They are in the same boat offensively as the Saints for me. And yet the Saints are plus 550 and the Colts are 17-1. Best value, give me the Colts to have the worst record in the league, because I don't know if they're going to be able to score the ball.
I don't know. If Tyler Warren, who is probably, you asked me who my second rookie,
my boy,
my second rookie of the year pick would be. If you're asking me who I think the long shot for offensive rookie of the year, it'd be Tyler Warren. He is perfect for that offense. He's going to put up some mega numbers.
Yeah, but the Colts are going to suck, so he's not going to win.
I don't know how bad they're going to be. The division sucks. So that's the worry, is that you're playing in a division that's not that great. I've never liked the Texans. I think the Texans are still questionable when it comes to D'Amico Ryans as a head coach. And then you have I don't know what the Jags are going to look like. I mean, they obviously have got big question marks as to what they're looking like as well. So I'm not, that would be my fear is always with any team in the NFC West being the worst in the NFL, is that the division can be had. You can go 3-3 pretty easily in the division.
Very, very fair point. Don't hate that number, though. 17-1. I like that play, though, Terrell. Either way, Perrault, throwing it back to you for your favorite value play across all markets.
Yeah, I mean, this is a homer pick, but it's the logical one. The Patriots right now are laying minus 140 at 7.5 wins. Don't do that. Do over 8.5 wins for the Patriots and take either plus money, even money, or minus 110 on them. Unlike the Giants, they play 3 of their first 4 games at home this year. They have the 3rd easiest schedule on paper. Their road trips are to New Orleans, to Tennessee. They're picking on teams that they should be able to beat. The end of the schedule was tough when they play Buffalo and Baltimore in back-to-back weeks, but I need them to go 9-8. That's it. With the quarterback and head coach, with the defensive adjustments that they have made, bringing back Josh McDaniels to be their offensive coordinator, bringing back the guys who need to, the Patriot way coming in. This is going to be a hard-nosed football team that's going to be a pain in the neck to play. They're going to run the ball like Tennessee used to, like the Titans used to. Get ready for Henderson and company to run the rock like crazy. And the defense is going to be much better. 9-8 with the third easiest division, over 8.5 wins for the Patriots.
I like the Patriots a lot this season, man. I think Drake Maye is the real deal. I mean, he was running for his life last year and still looked like an NFL quarterback. I know a lot of people have, been concerned about the footwork, but it seemed fine to me last season. So I don't hate this. Any love for the Pats from you, Terrell?
No, I think the Pats are actually going to be smooth. Now, I'm not 100% all the way in on Drake Maye. I think he's smooth, but I just want to see a little bit more. But I don't have any reason to think that they're going to be bad or horrible. I think 500, slightly above 500 ball club is probably where they end up.
The best stat is the Patriots in 2024 were favored in 0 games. The Patriots in 2025 are already favored in 11 games.
Wow.
11?
That is
interesting.
11.
That kind of shows me that maybe there's some value in an exact order for this division and putting the Patriots second behind the Bills. And then whichever way you want to slice it, whether that's the Jets coming in third, or I think the wheels could fall off in Miami this year as well. So I don't mind fading the Dolphins and putting them third or fourth. So I do like the Pats call there. I got one more long shot for you guys that I know Perrault's not going to like this with his disdain for the Giants, but give me Malik Nabers, Offensive Player of the Year, 50-1. This is something I took this back in March. I just looked last week and it was still 50-1. As of this recording, though, it is 35-1. So I had a little bit opening line values, but I still like 35-1 because this is a guy who took 170 targets for 109 receptions, 1,200 yards, a boatload of touchdowns as well. And that was playing with Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito, and Drew Lock. Now he gets Russell Wilson, who, say what you want about Russell Wilson, but he's at least been good for his number one receivers in the past. Even when nothing was going right in Denver, Cortland Sutton was at least a reliable fantasy guy. And I think now that this is a pretty good spot for Nabers, even with Jackson Dart coming in. Dart was a good enough quarterback that he got multiple wide receivers drafted last month, including Trey Harris in round 2. So I think he can sling the pill downfield a little bit. I like that possible connection. And outside of Nabers, what is it on this offense in terms of pass catchers? It's Slayton, who they just paid. It's Wan'Dale Robinson, who's really just a jag. It's Theo Johnson, who'll be back in the mix after getting injured last season. So Terrell, I'm taking a little flyer on your guy Nabers here, 50-1, now 35-1 at FanDuel.
No, I think it's a good pick. Like I said, one of the reasons that I feel like the Giants are going to be not good but not horrible either is because of Malik Nabers, and he actually does have a quarterback. And whatever way you slice it, whether it's Russ, whether it's Jameis, they're going to throw the ball deep and they're going to get the ball to him, and he's going to have plenty of opportunity. He's going to have a million targets every single game. He was setting NFL. He was top of the NFL before he got hurt in targets and in receptions. And so, yeah, I think anybody like that is definitely 50-1 on Offensive Player of the Year. That's a good value. And whether it hits or not, you'll definitely have a chance where you could cash out, you could sell the ticket, whatever, midseason.
I can't figure out how the two of you guys are saying the Giants have a quarterback and then you list 3 quarterbacks. How is that possible?
It's clearly Russell Wilson.
The Giants have a quarterback. Is it clearly Russell Wilson? I don't know.
Yes, it's clearly Russell Wilson. I'm telling you, it's clearly Russell Wilson. It's clearly Russ.
Russ is washed up. He's awful.
I don't think. I'm good. I told you, I don't like the room, but it's Russ. Russ is a good quarterback. Russ made George Pickens. He made George Pickens passable.
For Malik Nabers, they have a quarterback, but
it's better than last year, but that was a low bar, right? That was a low bar. I would rather take Jameis, Dart, or Russ than any of the guys that the Giants were throwing out there last year.
But it's going to be musical chairs. This is the problem when you've got 3 quarterbacks. The back pages in New York, they're going to freak out when Russ throws 3 picks and he throws lollipop, jump balls. They're going to say play Winston, and then Winston's going to come in, he's going to suck, and they're going to say okay, play Dart, and Dart's going to come in and he's going to suck. This is why it sucks playing in New York with these situations. Because the back pages are going to be their worst nightmare.
Yeah, at least
I don't think anything like that for Russ is going to be if Russ doesn't play, it's going to be because Russ got hurt. I don't have no problem with Russ losing this job. I really don't. If Russ doesn't play, and I predict an injury for Russ. I think Russ, when he gets to, he's going to play the game against Denver, against Sean Payton, and he's going to play that game. And then after that game, he's probably going to get hurt after that. But I have no faith in Russ continuing the season being fully healthy. He's not going to lose the job. He's clearly the best quarterback on the roster. Just because I don't like him as a person doesn't mean that, I don't like his talent as a quarterback.
Sure.
And ultimately, again, in the beginning of the season, last season, Malik Nabers led the league in receptions and targets before he got hurt with nothing at quarterback. So anything here is an upgrade. He's going to have a better season, way better season. This is a way too big of a line. It's going to be shorter mid-season, and you can make a decision there.
Yeah. My hot take of the day is that Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson.
Ooh, okay. Well, that is enough Giants talk for one podcast. Let us know in the comments below your guys' favorite futures. We want to hear from you. Great to be back talking ball with you, Matt and Terrell. That is going to do it for us today on the Betting Pros podcast. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the whole channel if you're new. And don't forget to download the BP app and sync your sportsbooks today. For Matt Perrault and Terrell Furman Jr., I'm Seth Woolcock. Take care, y'all.